This founder built an AI copywriting product and got over 100,000 users in 2 years. In this episode, we talk about his approach to deciding where to invest your time, money, and energy as an early stage AI founder. And I learned a lot about his approach towards prompt engineering. Yaniv is the CEO and co-founder of AnyWord, leading AI copywriting solution designed for marketing performance. He has a master's in computer science and information systems, and he has conducted extensive research in the fields of machine learning and natural language processing. His work optimizing ad and content channels for some of the largest publishers like New York Times led him to found AnyWord generative AI platform. Yaniv oversees operations across AnyWord's New York, Tel Aviv, and satellite offices across the world. Welcome to the show, Yaniv. Tell us about your product.
Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm co-founder CEO of AnyWord. We are in the copywriting AI space. Our product primarily focuses on making copy more effective and converting more and engaging more.
Wow. Okay. So AnyWord, and how is it different than the plethora of other copywriting tools, AI enhanced copywriting tools that are out there at this time, or they're probably going to come out now that there's a lot of those capabilities? Yeah. Tell me about how is it different? What's the differentiation there?
So we started out from a kind of performance mindset. And I think there's one big problem that generative models can solve, or large language models can solve, is basically helping you just get more content out there and high quality content, solving for writer's block. And I think that's an interesting, huge problem to solve. For us, it's kind of like not our DNA. Our DNA is more about, in our product's DNA, is how to make your copy better. So you already are a marketer. You already know what you're doing. You have a strategy. Yes, you could get ideas from AI, but this is how words will work better for you for a specific audience. So you're selling, I don't know, a sweater to somebody in the US versus other countries, or a different occupation or different age or different gender, then what are the best words to use for every use case? And I think we use large language models to actually empower those insights, or actually leverage those insights to create ROI for our customers. I also think that when you're just a click of a button away from creating hundreds of variations of copy, we thought it was a really big problem to solve. Which one you're going to publish? You can't really A/B test 1,000 tweets. You have to send one. And so we thought that was like the biggest problem to solve. So early on, we focused on that. And our product can pretty much tell you if with every copy variation that the AI generates, how well it will work and for whom and why. And if you want to make improvements, how to do them.
Well, okay. So you're taking the existing LLMs and you're not only generating content, that's an easy problem to solve, but what you're really doing is you're helping fine tune that content to resonate with the specific audience that your customers may have, and then fine tune the copy to increase engagement or retention with that audience. What is the primary metric that you aim for with your customers to improve? What is their North Star metric that you're helping them with?
So typically it depends on the use case of the marketing, but they'll measure lift in conversion rate or lift in engagement, and then they'll measure just ROI. So if they're running ads, they should be able to see a lift in their ROI, or if they're on a conversion rate on the landing page, or open rates in emails. And it's pretty easy to measure. Easily A/B test copy and see if it works for you.
So how do you get the information on their audience, like to fine tune the output with that highly fine tuned output? Yeah.
So AnyWord collected its own data, and basically we have our pretty large corpus of data, performance data. And also when we partner with our customers or partners, basically they have their own data sets, and then they upload them into AnyWord. And then we fine tune what we call custom models to help them predict better how their copy will do. So for instance, just based on our data, we have an accuracy measurement of how well our model predicts performance of like copy that we already knew how well it won't work. Yeah, somewhere around 76%, depending on what we're testing. But if you bring in your own data and you actually A/B tested or just ran copy in the past, then it goes up to 85. And that's just because You have your own audience, kind of like your own topics. I think for me, one of the most interesting parts of the space of large language models, not only they can write really well, they also understand text really well. So like 5 years ago, if you train a model on just lots of text and tell it this text is good, this text is bad, they'll probably figure out that one has an emoji or an exclamation mark. But now if there's a deep understanding of why text works, like are you using fear of missing out? Is that even relevant for some audiences and for some products or industries? And I think that's super exciting. So I think it wasn't possible a few years ago and it's possible now. And I see this as like a big booster in performance for marketing.
100%. There has been the plethora of content generators using ChatGPT and tools like that to create content. But what is still missing is the ability to fine tune that output to the specific segment of your audience and then able to create content based on that readily, as in with a click of a button. I'm sure you can stitch together a few data pipelines and do that with some tool suites. But what I don't see happening is ability to just readily with a click of a button say, this is my audience, this is my content, generate some copy. Am I understanding your product correctly? You offer that?
Yes, for every, like while you're typing, you can use your own copy, not even generate with AI. You'll have insights, analytics about that copy, how it will do for your target audience, the way you defined it, what talking points work better and maybe replace them with others. And you can use your talking points that work for you while you're running ads in your email and the talking points that work in your emails or the insights you gain from that in your landing page. And I feel like that is like the future where there's just so much content going to come out. You really know, have to know what resonates with your audience.
Yeah, I imagine a world where the specific copy will be highly personalized to the reader that is consuming that information. And it could be hundreds and millions of variations of that, depending on who's the reader, right? So, what I am curious about is now that I have the context of your product, let's talk a little bit about your business. Tell me about when you founded the company and tell me a little bit about the number of users you have, amount of your revenue, etc. Anything you can share to provide us a context on your business.
So Anyword launched March 21, and basically it was a spinoff of the first company we founded, which is called Kiwi. Kiwi is a SaaS platform for publishers, New York Times, CNN, Washington Post, helps them distribute their articles and their content on social platforms like Facebook. And then what we figured out there, Kiwi works with 70% of the top media companies in the US. What we saw is that some of our customers did way better than others in engagement and conversion rate just based on their copy. And we thought, okay, we can help our other customers to write better copy. And then that was kind of what made us think about Anyword. And then the problem was much bigger, not just copy for social posts, but you can even rewrite today a whole article for 5 different audiences. So you might be reading a different version of that same article than me. And the author, it's the same author with the same idea or message, but we'll be reading different articles that talk to us based on our words and familiarity and language. And I feel like that's super cool. I think I always thought that was like the future. And I think it's very possible today. And it's something that pretty profound.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's pretty cool actually to be able to have such a level of personalization for all the segments of your audience. What I'm curious about is, is this product out already? Do you have any customers using? I know your previous product was mega successful. 70% of the media companies using a product. That's amazing. Congrats on that success. QE, right? Now, with this that you launched in March 2021, Anyword that was launched in March 2021, what are some of the business results that you could share with us?
So we have almost 100,000 users using the product, and we have a few thousand paying customers. And the product is like our top line is now at like exponential rate growth. So ChatGPT was a big help introducing the whole technology in the space. And I think as far as product market fit, I think there's a hunger for helping in copywriting, specifically for performance copywriting, and super happy to be in this space and to grow with it.
Yeah. What's your pricing point? Are you enterprise? Do you have enterprise customers, individual copywriters, freelancers? What is the market segment that you aim to grow and expand on?
So we have the kind of like starter offering. It starts at $29 a month for consumers, pursuers. And then like half our revenue comes from enterprise where our API powers, ad vendors, agencies, big brands that have a lot of data and trying to leverage that data to create performance. So I wouldn't say their biggest issue is to create more content or copy. Their biggest issue is what we're basically helping them do is this is the easiest lift they have in their easiest 10 or 15% lift in their marketing funnel that they'll get just by improving the copy. I feel like it's a must have. Like, I think every marketing org will have a box like this in their stack to improve their copy ROI.
Percent. Yeah. It's going to be part of every single stack, all the way from creation to publishing, right? I totally see it becoming an ingrained part of copy creation and copy publishing and all of that. Yaniv, tell me a little bit about how you stumbled on the product idea. I know you were talking about how you had media company and a company that was used by a product that was used by a lot of media companies, 70% of the media companies, and they had challenges with the conversion rate, or you noticed that you could improve that. Is that how, tell us a little bit about your origin story and tell me also about whether you're a technical founder, if you have another technical co-founder.
Yeah, so I'm a technical founder and I also did my master's degree in natural language processing. And my co-founder is also technical. So we're both of us are technical in that aspect. And even before large language models, like, I mean, I really believed in our ability to improve performance of copy. So when I saw that some publishers were doing better than others, and not necessarily the ones that have, had a bigger budget or bigger teams, or they just knew what they were doing and they were A/B testing more copy, they were doing way better as far as engagement, conversion, subscriptions, and sales than the other ones. I thought this was like something we can help with AI. Early on, we were just struggling to take like an existing social post or a tweet from a publisher and just replace two words to have it make sense and perform better. And as models became larger, foundational models became larger, we could leverage that to solve all those context issues. And that kind of really played in our favor.
Wonderful. Tell me about how you created the product. What is your stack like? How long it took you to create the product? What is the size of your engineering team? The reason I'm asking that is because our audience are people who are either interested in creating an AI product or want to infuse AI in their existing stack. They work for an enterprise and they want to do that. So give us an estimate of like the budget, or rather the size of your team and the effort it took you to build this product. Yeah.
So there's around 25 people in the kind of like engineering org. I think there's a big difference between leveraging foundational model like GPT-3 or building and fine tuning your own models. So with like a GPT-3 or others like it, you can build really quickly. Like you don't need data, no need for fine tuning, and you can just focus on flows and user experience. If you have your own model, then it's way slower. There is a process for obviously training it, but also, getting to the right performance, and that could take months. So I think that's like a big decision. We invested early on in in comparison to our team, a large AI team. So there's 5 people in the AI team, and we train models, not only write prompts. So prompts is much easier to write. And I think decisions about like where you need to invest in your models and when you don't. I think you can iterate really fast on user experience, product market fit, and get an initial solution going with foundational models. And you really need to choose your battles where you absolutely need, if you actually need one, your own fine-tuned model when to host it. Because I think that's a much bigger investment. What we found what works for us is, you can iterate really fast with just prompt engineering and get to initial result, and then go deep, so to speak, as to build like your own models to solve some specific problems, right? So when you have to predict what copy will work better for others, or if it's more in line with the tone of voice that the customer is looking for, then we have to really fine tune our own models, and that's an investment. But when you just want to create a new format for a framework for copy, then just do it with a prompt and you're good to go.
Yeah. So for a product creator who's interested in creating an AI product, there are three areas she could be investing in. One is learning the foundational models and iterating use cases and workflows on top of that. Essentially, a UX and a distribution advantage. This is the first use case. The second use case is the building, the fine tuning, and personalizing the foundational model itself. And that could be a lot of investment. That's not just a distribution or a UX advantage. That's a technical defensibility of the product itself by iterating and improving the foundational model itself. And then the third area that she could invest in is prompt engineering on top of fine-tuned models or existing LLMs. And that itself could be that's an advantage in terms of problem discovery. How did you improve your prompt engineering skills? Looks like you fine-tuned it to a point where you have hundreds of thousands of users. What advice do you have for someone who is trying to focus on that category of improving their prompts?
We invested in a feedback loop really early on. So we actually connect to marketing channels, our customers' marketing channels, their Google Ads, Facebook Ads, API, their website. And then we can really care about performance. If you know what you're looking for, you can measure and then figure out what's wrong with your prompts, not creating the right outputs. We also have these quality surveys and these mechanisms built into products where you can save like a variation you like. And then we use that as also part of our feedback loop. And then you try and make mistakes and fix them. That's basically what we did.
And can you unpack the first option that you said? You have KPIs from Google Ads and Facebook Ads. How would that
Yeah.
improve the odds?
If you create copy with AnyWord for your Facebook ads and you run those ads, we will look at the performance of that copy, compare it with your other copy on your ads, and then see if it did well or not. And then generalize that into some insights about, okay, this is not working well. I'll give you an example. So in a Google ad, you can talk about your brand and again, your keywords and campaigns. And some brands have really well known. It makes total sense for them to actually incorporate way more than that, way more of their brand in their ads. And others, it's just all benefits and features of the product and not necessarily the brand. But they really have to define, let's say, the product itself. So for instance, AnyWord, if we had to write an ad for an AnyWord, we'd have to say AI writer at some point because we're not Nike, but for Nike, like just the brand itself. So those understandings have to go back into the prompt. And then that's something from performance and what people like to use.
So what I'm gleaning from this is for improving the prompts, feedback loop is critical. Being able to have that feedback from the market, from the users, helps you improve those prompts. Now that I say it in the hindsight, it sounds very obvious, but thank you for helping us glean that. Yeah. Any other advice you have for product creators who are either embarking on this journey now that there has been this new technology, or anyone who has been doing it for many years and just make that leap? What advice do you have for product creators in this space?
I think it's super exciting, like exciting times about what's possible at the same time. And I think there are going to be many winners and big companies are going to disrupt like existing workflows and industries. I think thinking about specifically what problem you're solving and what is the incumbent going to do? So if it's a feature in another product, I think that's not easy. I think for different problems, there's different answers. I'd really focus on that. And also I think there's temptation because of the pace of how the technology is evolving to do more and to cover more ground. Oh, let's go into images and and you really have to be disciplined, because my guess is that if you're not specific enough and narrow enough in your focus, over time, you won't have the best product. You have kind of and I think it's always a challenge in product management, but I think now it's even more with AI. Specifically, you have to get your user experience right. And it's very tempting to just build lots of stuff really fast.
Thank you, Yaniv. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Thank you for having me.